All right. Well, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Good. Good. I think we have some of our soccer student athletes here today, and I'm kind of spanning the room. I know that we're in the midst of finals, and so all of them couldn't be here. But I want to start with that group. We have a really special group of student athletes, and uncertainty, especially when you don't see it coming, is hard. And our student athletes, the way they handled the uncertainty over the course of the past 2 weeks, they've been phenomenal. They've taken care of each other. They've done the things that they've needed to do, and just really proud of them. And I also want to give credit to Coach Jobson for the wonderful job he did with our soccer program. Certainly, the wins, but way beyond. He was an unbelievable caretaker for our program and for our student athletes, and the way he poured into them. And because of those two factors, as you could imagine, this was a job that was sought out by many. We had unbelievable candidates, and we're really excited and thrilled to introduce our next head coach. Yesterday, I was in my office yesterday morning before the men's basketball game, and was just reading through and doing a devotional, and I came across Psalm 47:1 that says, "Come everyone, clap your hands, shout to God with joyful praise." And it really made me think about just how blessed we are here at Baylor Athletics. And I know we go straight again to the wins, and we're certainly enjoying those. But it's really about the people. We are blessed to have unbelievable people here. And I see a lot of the athletic department administrators, each and every one of you. So grateful to you all. I see a lot of our head coaches here. Thank you for being here. You all have busy schedules, and the fact that you took the time out here to come on out and be supportive. Grateful to you. I will say that Scott Drew wanted to be here, and Scott had to get on a plane this morning at 5 a.m. after winning a big game yesterday. But it's about just the wonderful people we have. Special thanks to the search committee. As always, when we embark upon a head coaching search, first and foremost, we really give it up to God and ask that He lead us to that right person. And all searches are journeys, and this was one, and we're certainly blessed and grateful for the outcome. So Jovan Overshone, Don Rogers, Kevin Gall, thank you for your wisdom and for the laughter and some of the other things that can never be told in public as you go through a search. Special thanks. I don't know where's Cody Hall. Cody, if you'll raise your hand. Cody is our sport program administrator for women's soccer and does an unbelievable job. And he led the search. And Cody, grateful for your efforts. When we go to hire a coach, there's certainly several characteristics. In fact, there's probably 12, 13, 14 characteristics that we look for. And we've been part of searches, right, where maybe you're not able to check off every one of those boxes, and I can say that this time we were able to check all of those. And first and foremost, it starts with our mission fit, and really finding somebody that embraces, not just accepts, but embraces Baylor University and our Christian values, our one standard, our one accord, and certainly preparing champions for life and our 4 pillars. And you can't move on unless you get over that very, very big hurdle. Looking for a great partner, somebody that that's going to be in the foxhole, that will be in there together, right? Working as hard as we can to really build a special program, and as mentioned, to really build upon the special program that Coach Jobson built. We want somebody that's a leader of young people, somebody that's going to just develop them, that understands that everything counts, everything matters for our young people. They're not going to just be great soccer players. They're going to be great people. And we're going to challenge and demand and push and pull so that when they leave Baylor, they're absolutely leaders in our society. I won't go through all of them, but certainly those are a few. Toughness is a big one, and we always think about toughness, in terms of physicality and being tough physically. But toughness is being tough mentally. And can you perform mentally under duress, adverse conditions, at an elite level? And I know we found a head coach that can do that. And then certainly a track record of success. Somebody that's built a program and that's taken a program to its highest levels. And the coach that I'm about ready to introduce just took her team to the Final Four, and really excited for her and for that program. So I go back to Psalm 47:1 and shout to God with joyful praise. And it is a joyful day. It is a great day. And it is my honor and my pleasure to welcome Coach Michelle Lenard and her family, Lenny, Keaton, and Wyatt, to the Baylor Athletics family. Coach, come on up. All right, there's a story behind number 6. She is our 6th head coach of the women's soccer program. And I understand that she wore number 6 when she competed only just 6 years ago. Why don't you hold that? Where's Cody? Cody, come on up here. Get on the other side. Come on. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll take that.
Okay. Thank you. Well, hello. Want to start by saying thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so thrilled to be here accepting this new position as the head women's soccer coach here at Baylor. This is an absolute dream come true for me, and I can't wait to get started. I want to start with a couple of major thank yous to some really important people, both in my life and during this process. And first is my family. They couldn't be here today. As Max said, we've been on the road at the Final Four with my DBU team, And so my kids missed a lot of school and my husband missed a lot of work. And we felt like it was important for them to get back today as we get ready to make this big transition in our lives. So my husband, Lenny, is an unbelievable supporter of mine and has been alongside me through all of my both coaching days, but all the way back to when I was a player. He became a women's soccer fan at the University of North Texas when we met through friends and has never stopped. And so he supported this journey of mine, but he did need to get back to work today so that we can and take our kids to school so that they can keep moving forward as well. Also want to thank President Linda Livingstone and the Board of Regents, as well as the search committee and athletic director Mac Rhodes. This has been an incredible experience so far. Everyone here at Baylor has been so wonderful and so welcoming and so clear in the expectations and what they were looking for to fill this position. In this moment in my life, as I tried to decide what was next and what was best, I really asked God to give clear direction on, is this the right step for myself and my family? And interacting with everyone on the search committee and with Mac, and with their clarity on the mission of Baylor athletics, it became really obvious to me that this was the absolute right decision for my family. I also want to thank the student athletes here, the soccer players, the women's soccer players that have waited patiently for this decision to be made. I know this is a big moment in your lives. I know that you chose Baylor because you love Baylor, but you also loved Coach Jobson. And I promise you to do everything I can to help you feel the same way about me. Coach Jobson and I are good friends, and we have spoke a lot recently. He has built an unbelievable program here at Baylor, and I hope to continue in the legacy that he has built of faith, family, and football. I'm eternally grateful for the foundation that he has laid. There's not a better man out there. Anyone in this room that has interacted with him knows that, and I feel completely humbled to be able to take the reins from him and lead this team forward. Him and his family, Marcy, and the rest of the staff have just set such a high standard for this program that I'm thrilled to come in and try to help the team get, not try, but help the team get to the next level. I chose Baylor because the mission aligned exactly with my mission in life and with the what I believe God has called me to do. Coaching has never been about a job for me. It's always been a calling. And I feel that God has uniquely equipped me to coach at a high level and to compete for championships and to disciple and mentor young women. And it was clear early in the process that that is what Baylor was about. You can do one of those things at some places, and you can do the other one of those things at some places. But here at Baylor, we can do both. We can compete for championships, and we can disciple young women. And I feel like that's what I have been called to do in this life. And I'm just so blessed to be able to do that here. The community and the family aspect was also incredibly important. My boys are 11 and 12. They're right in the thick of elementary and middle school, and they are very, very excited for this transition. But we wanted to make sure we were going somewhere that they would be welcome and included. They've grown up on the soccer field at DBU. My 11-year-old son Wyatt was literally born in October in the middle of soccer season, and a week later back out on the soccer field. And so they've grown up there. They love being a part of it. They view the team as family, and the team views them as family. And so coming here and interacting with everybody during the process has made it clear that that is what Baylor is about. They're about family, they're about community, and they've welcomed my family with open arms. It's one thing to disciple, it's one thing to have a family culture, but it's an entirely other thing to do both of those things and compete at the highest level. And the reputation and the resources that Baylor University has will allow us to compete at the highest level. We want to take care of people, and we want to put people first, and that will always be my number one priority, but we want to win. And we're going to do everything every day to help this team compete at the absolute highest level. Coach Jobson and his staff has shown that that's very possible here and laid an unbelievable foundation with the success that they've currently had. But now it's time to take the program to the next level, and I'm grateful to be the one to get to do that. We want to compete for a national championship, and that is not easy to do. But there's a lot of coaches in this room that have shown that you can do that here at Baylor. And so we hope to be the next team at Baylor to win a national championship and bring such recognition to such a wonderful university. I think if I were ever going to leave my previous coaching position, I always knew that I had to find a place where I could do what I was doing there and continue to live out my faith on a daily basis. That's not something that you can do just at any university, and it was really important to me in this process that I knew that I could do that if I were to move on. And a verse that's really been critical in my life, and since I became a believer when I was in high school, that stood out to me in this process is Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. We will strive every day that all of our actions on and off the soccer field glorify God. I will ask to be held accountable to that by my student athletes and staff and administration here at Baylor, by my family as well, and we will hold our athletes to those standards as well. We want to represent this university in the best possible light, and we hope that everything that we do every day will be glorifying to God. I've been in my previous institution for 14 years. In order to get up and make such a significant move and move my family, I knew I wanted to go somewhere else for 14 or more years. This has been the perfect decision for our family. It's been a hard one because I was so emotionally invested at DBU, and I'm super grateful for the past 14 years that I had there, to the administration, the student athletes that I was able to coach, the relationships that we built that will last a lifetime. It made me a better person and a better coach. But I'm here now, and this is my team now, and I hope to be here for a very long time. Our family is very excited, and we're very grateful for this opportunity. Later on this afternoon, I believe I get to meet the student athletes, and I can't wait. I almost couldn't sleep last night. I was so excited to get to meet these girls. I've heard nothing but unbelievable things about them. I've, of course, watched them play. Many of them are from the DFW area, and I was familiar with them throughout the recruiting process. And so it's such an honor to me to be able to coach these girls and lead these girls and help them to reach their highest potential. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. And take any questions if anyone might have any. Yes, sir.
Yeah, John Warner, Waco Tribune Herald. Coach, do you have a certain style, a certain philosophy you'd like to bring across as a coach?
Absolutely. I do think that there's more than one way to play soccer and to win and be successful. I think there's potentially going to be some differences in the way that I do that and the way Coach Jobson and his staff did that. My general philosophy is that we want to control the game by controlling the ball. So we like to have a lot of the ball. We want to build our attack from the back. We hope to play an attractive attacking style of soccer that's fun to watch and that the fans can get behind and that's fun to play. Coach Jobson built an unbelievably disciplined defensive unit, and we will be able to take that and build on that and hopefully continue to add layers to that so that we can win at the highest level possible. But I say we want to have the ball and people hear possession and they think, well, possession doesn't win soccer games, and that's true. And so we want to be an aggressive attacking team. We want to create lots of chances on goal, and we want to set the tempo. So it's going to be a little bit of a combination of things, but that's kind of the overall philosophy.
Coach, how much have you looked into this team? And like you said, you've seen them, but and maybe even what you got coming back, what you still need. How much have you looked into that already?
Well, I have been doing that, becoming familiar with the players, the profile in each individual and each position to see what maybe we need to try to add for next year. And first of all, this is a tremendous group of student athletes, many of which I would have loved to have had previously at my previous institution, and just incredibly athletic, gifted, hardworking individuals. Obviously graduated a couple of seniors that played significant roles on this team, so we will be looking for some younger players to fill in and step up there. I know that along with incoming freshmen who have already signed, there's also a transfer on her way here who I think could be an impact player right away. Overall, because the style of play might be just a touch different, I think we're going to need to get into practice and see what we have and see, kind of the skill set and the profile of these particular players. We don't have any major holes, I can tell you that. We've got the players to win right now. And what we'd like to do is maybe add one or two more that can help us to get to that next level. But we can be successful with the kids that are here right now. That's already been proven. Got a couple of kids out injured, hoping to get Taylor back, maybe healthy at the beginning of next season. Got a couple returning players. Maddie is going to be an excellent player to help us get things going in the right direction, as well as Mackenzie. And so no big problems, no holes, but if we can add one or two, I think that could help us in the fall.
I know it's in the middle of finals, but have you had the opportunity to meet with the team, and what was your message to them?
So we're going to meet this afternoon in person. I did communicate with them over the weekend after we wrapped up my season out in Colorado with DBU. I was able to reach out, just introduce myself briefly, and got a few text messages and communicated back and forth. So we'll meet this afternoon, and the message for me is going to be there's already a strong foundation. I am not coming in. There's nothing to fix here. This is an unbelievable program that has fantastic student athletes that Coach Jobson and his staff set a great standard for. We want to build on that, and we want to see if we can get this program to the next level. And so I will help them understand that I'm here for them, that they're my priority, and that I want to serve them and help them reach their highest potential. I'll be talking with them about, what do they think works here? What has helped them be successful? And then potentially, what can we do differently? What can we add? How can we get this team to the next level? So I certainly have a plan and a way that I'd like to do things in my mind, but I think it's really critical that these players have ownership over this process. So although I'm not going to come in and say, here's how we're doing it. We have some basic ideas on how we want to do things, but I want to hear from the players before we completely determine that, because I want them to have a significant role in some of the decisions that we make as far as how we play and how we move things forward. And we can start that today. That's going to be a process. It'll probably take a few more conversations.
How confident are you making that jump from Division II to Division I, and just maybe how much has that prepared you for this step?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I'm very confident. I think soccer is soccer, regardless of the division that you coach at. There's obviously going to be some differences in the overall level of athlete that we're able to get here at Baylor. But I've had some tremendous soccer players at DBU, and I've put my Division II soccer team on the field with Division I teams on many occasions and done pretty well. And that's with Division II resources and with a Division II name. And so there is no limit to the type of athletes that we can get here. It's going to be a matter of recruiting and being out hitting the pavement and working hard and bringing the right kids in and finding the right fit. As far as the soccer piece goes, the model that helped us be successful at DBU will help us be successful here. It's not a matter of division. So we're going to get to work. We're going to work really hard. We're going to introduce a very clear game model that the players can all get on board with and make sure that we're organized in our approach to the way that we want to play. But I don't think that it's the least bit of a concern to me, Division I, Division II. Soccer is soccer, and if you can coach, you can coach. And, when you step foot across that line, it's all the same dimensions, and so we're going to play the same way.
Having played in Texas yourself in college and then now at DBU and then now here at Baylor, to be able to stay here in Texas, how exciting is that for you for the recruiting and just knowing that it's just 2 hours down the road?
Yeah, that was a big part of that for me is, one, my husband and I both born and raised in Texas and love Texas and really had no desire to leave really ever. And so I've spent obviously the majority of my professional career, all of my professional career in the DFW area, which means I have well-established relationships with the top clubs in the country, both in DFW, Austin, Houston, the rest of Texas, as well as throughout the United States. I think that Baylor is going to always get a significant number of players from the Texas recruiting landscape. And so the relationships that we already have are going to help us do that quickly. I think we can also make sure that we're scouring the United States to find the right fit, because this isn't for everyone. We want to make sure we find the exact right fit for this program. And I think there's going to always be a high percentage of them that are Texans, but they're good soccer players all around the country and even all around the world. And so we will leave no stone unturned. We will definitely spend the majority of our time here in Texas, but we're going to go wherever we have to go to find the right fit for this team.
You talked about in terms of recruiting. Have you rounded out your staff in terms of that? And what was important in terms of who you brought with you?
I am still working to make some of those decisions and having some conversations, but I want to make sure that that we get it right and that we're not rushing to make any decisions. This has been a very fast process, especially being in season over the past 2 weeks as this kind of was unfolding. And so just like recruiting, I'm going to be 100% committed to finding the right fit for the staff as well. First and foremost, anyone on this staff will be of the utmost highest character, someone that I can trust with these players' lives and that I know will put them first as a person before as a player. And then, of course, we want to make sure we have a skill set that's going to help these players develop on the soccer field. And so I have some really top-level candidates in mind at the moment. Feel pretty good in one in particular, but some things are still unfolding and don't feel comfortable saying just yet. But I think that should be probably settled in the next week or two. And we're approaching 2 or 3 days, a dead period over the holidays, so I'm going to be making a lot of phone calls over the next 3 days with recruits and potentially looking to potentially pick up a kid off the transfer portal. But in that time frame, hoping to also nail down the staff so that after the recruiting dead period ends in January, that we can hit the ground running.
What do you see when you
you look at the Big 12 top to bottom?
Well, I think it's a highly competitive conference, and it should be, one of the best conferences in the country. But it has teams in it that can compete at the absolute highest level. I mean, obviously, BYU just went to the national championship game, going to be moving into the Big 12. TCU here locally, finishing at the top of the Big 12 last year, is a very good program with an excellent coaching staff who've shown what you can do over time to build a program up and be really successful in this conference. There's a lot changing, and so with some of the newer teams coming in, a couple of teams leaving, I think that top spot's up for grabs, and we're going to be working really hard to be at the top of the Big 12 every year. It will be hard. Nothing about that's going to be easy. When you're in a top conference, it never is. But I think given Baylor's reputation, location, history of excellence, and resources, there's just not any reason we can't expect to be one of the best teams in the Big 12, and that's what we'll be working toward.
Coach, you talked about your possession attacking style of play. If you could just kind of sum it up more succinctly, what identity do you want the team to have?
As far as tactically from a soccer perspective? Yeah. We want to have the ball, and we want to be an aggressive team that's capable of scoring multiple goals a game. And so you can't trade that off for not being solid defensively. But I think that the way that we attack, the way that we set up the structure of our team offensively allows us to have the cover that we need defensively. So, for example, we want to have the ball. When we lose it, we will have a high-pressing mentality to win the ball back immediately. We don't want to be passive. We're not going to sit back and let the game come to us. So I don't know if that sums it up in the way that you would like, but we want to score goals is basically what I'm trying to tell you. But we don't want to open up holes defensively. So I think that we can do both. We've been able to do both where I've been coaching, and the players here are certainly capable of that. It's very physically demanding style of play, but these kids are fit and disciplined and very hardworking, so I don't think it will be really much of a transition at all for them.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.